Hello, my name is Noémie Goudal. Welcome to my show, and you are here at the Edel Assanti gallery in London. The show is called "And Yet It Still Moves," and it's from the sentence of Galileo when in his discovery of the position of the Earth in the universe. In the exhibitions, there are three different chapters of this very large corpus called Post-Atlantica, where each of them relates to a very specific moment in the history of our planet. We start in a sort of dark environment, and then we have this very white, clear room of the delta, and then you go again in Vide, which is a dark, very dark room. And I wanted to have this almost diurnal movement, to going from day to night, from day to night. Rocks is a piece that shows a photograph of a rock at night, on which I project a video of this exact same place, a film of this place. It's just a very simple film of a torch is lighting the space, all the corners and all the fissures of the rock. And what I wanted to do is to create a work that has two different times and two different rhythms within it. So you've got the fixed time, which is in a way for me how we look at our landscape as a fixed entity. We think of it as, continents with borders and oceans, and we think of it as maps, and then we forget that it's moving. It's quite natural because obviously it's on a very long, slow pace. And then you've got the long, deep geological time that is moving, at its own space as well. I started to work in my studio with a very large piece of cathedral glass, which is a very interesting texture because it gave me a way to express this idea of memory and science. So what I wanted to create some terrariums or create a place that is a sort of capsule of a specific time, because in a lot of my work I love to deconstruct the image and to see the amount of layers that can be peeled, unpeeled and reconstructed, and it's following the same research and the same experimentation, but this time having this glass really gave me a new direction and a new tool to sort of play around that as well. And I have been working with a paleobotanist, trying to understand what was the nature like in the Carboniferous era. And so she also helped me to put things together. So for example, how annularia, which were very specific leaves from that time, how could I recreate them? And so everything is completely constructed. So if you look at the images of delta, from a closer look, you can see the clips, you can see the tape, you can see all the small details of the constructions. Some of them are sharper than others that are, more blurry at the back. But I wanted obviously to leave those on purpose to always show, the fragility of the construction and how it's all a construct. So Vide is a video that was shown for the first time at the Pompidou as well, as part of the Prix Marcel Duchamp. There is a specific area in East Africa which is called the Great African Rift, and it's literally like a fissure in the ground, and it's what they call the birth of an ocean. That there is such a force coming from the inside of the ground, inside of the planet, a very large force that is hitting the ground and forcing it to move on both ways. And Vide is really talking about this force that is coming from the ground, from the darkness of the ground, from the inside of the earth. So Vide was filmed in the studio. What I did is I took photographs from a cave in Thailand, and I printed the images onto paper. Then we cut them like a mosaic, and then we glued them back together on glass, what is called securite glass. It's a special glass that is used in cinema, because when you hit it with a very small explosive, it breaks into thousands of pieces. And also, for me, that ties well also with how scientists are working into moments of our history which are so long gone. So it's finding clues here and there and putting them together and to recreate a puzzle. But there are so many gaps and so many areas that are still unclear. So it put us in a situation that we are still looking, we're still searching. And that's what I'm interested about in all those stories.